Hey guys, thanks for joining me for another Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia video. Today we're going to do another Should You Pull video, and today we're going to do a Should You Pull for Vivi FR, and then we got another banner with Tifa FR. And I do think there's a lot of value to be had on these banners, depending on what your box looks like, what type of player you are, but we'll talk about that. So basically I'm going to go through and cover who's on the banner, talk about a little bit about what they do, and then if I think you should pull for them or not, right? So this first banner here with Vivi, RCL, and Papalimo. Papalimo, to be honest, isn't really a character you should be going for. Papalimo is like a decent damage dealer, but right now, if your only role is damage, which that's pretty much what Papalimo is, if your only role is damage, it's really hard to be successful as an LD only character. Papalimo doesn't have BT. Papalimo doesn't. Not only does he not have Force Echo, he just doesn't have Force, period. And so right now, if you're going to find a slot on a team without Force, without Echo, without BT, you've got to be like a super utility type unit or have some type of value. Papalimo just isn't that. So Papalimo, I think, is totally skippable here. Now, Arciela, I think Arciela is like a good value LD only character. Arciela has a lot of utility in that I really like her for HP silence. And she has a very on-demand HP silence, so provided the bosses can be debuffed, you can keep HP silence on very consistently and keep your party safe. That being said, would you rather run Arciela to stay safe or run Warrior of Light who's got BTFR, right? You'd rather run Warrior of Light. So if you have characters like Warrior of Light, like you probably don't need Arciela, but she is a really nice character to have in your back pocket. So what I'm going to say is this: don't pull here just for Arciela, but if you like Vivi and you want Vivi, Arciela is worth building as a side character. I think she's very good. She's got healing as well. She's got good battery. Like, she does fit the mold of a character that can work as an LD only character in today's meta, I feel like. So Arciela, she's a nice pickup, right? And then Vivi. So Vivi obviously will have value just being that he's an Echo character. He is a dark and fire damage dealer. He does very crazy AoE damage, like really, really good damage with big follow-ups. The follow-ups also damage your party's health though. So the thing with Vivi is I personally wouldn't recommend him just because, and I know a lot of people will probably not be happy about it because I know there's a lot of Vivi fans out there. If you love Vivi though, you guys, like, go for him without hesitation, build him up, you're going to love him, he'll be fun. But I'm just saying, for me personally, probably for the average player, I don't know that Vivi's the character you really want to go in on as a damage dealer. You kind of have to build around him a little bit. You got to make sure your party can stay healed and healed up, unless you have a party for some reason that you want to have low health or whatever, or you just have really good safety contingencies where you can survive at low health. But Vivi, I don't like the health lowering mechanic. And then other than that, he's really just a damage dealer, right? So if you're pretty much a pure damage dealer, you've got to be doing really insane top tier damage. Now, with his upgrade Echo BT, he can do really good damage. So if you really love Vivi and you want to make him your top tier damage dealer, you definitely could do that. He's just not what I would recommend. And I've talked about this before, but as a pure damage dealer, these are the type of characters that will fall off quickly. And what's going to happen later down the road, like, you're going to like really love Vivi right now and have fun with him for a fight or two. But really, when it comes down to it, when you're in really hard fights, do you want to use a character that's going to lower your party's health, right? And so then it's going to come down. It's like, oh, well, I've got Tifa Echo and I've got Vivi Echo. Which one do I want to use as my DPS? Probably Tifa, right? Or I've still got Penelo, whose damage is still top tier, who's going to be healing and battering like crazy, making my party members look good. Am I going to use that or Vivi, right? I'm probably going to use Penelo. Now, that's just me. That's the type of player I am. I always just want to run like the meta. I want to run what's going to make the fights easy. Vivi definitely, obviously, will be good for the content. But for the average player, I feel like this is actually pretty skippable. There's better stuff coming with Rubicante and Aerith. Like, there's better things out there that you need to save your resources for. Now, if you have extra resources or Vivi's like your absolute favorite, sure, go ahead and summon here. But for the average player, I'm going to say no. And for me, I'm probably not. Maybe I'll toss some tickets just to Chuck and try to get his FR just for fun for the character guide. But really, this isn't a banner I'm interested in personally. Now, this other banner here, we've got Tifa, Edge, and Gladio. Now, I'm going to tell you this right now. For the right player, this is one of the best value banners this month. This has, like, so much value. Because I talk about, like, the side banner characters, like, they're either really, really good or they're really just kind of useless, right? So, like, they're either Papalimo, where it's like, all right, they're there, you're never going to use them. Or they're kind of like Selfie, where it's like, oh my god, you could do really crazy things. Even Arciela, to an extent, I think is really nice as a side character. Well, this one both the side banner characters are amazing, and Tifa's getting Echo, and she's still right now is one of the best damage dealers in the game, and now she's getting like an upgrade. So like this to me is super high value because all 3 units are fantastic. Edge and Gladio are probably 2 of the best low budget LD only characters you could ever ask for. So like if you're like a newish player, this banner is like, go in, get all 3 of these, and you're going to be set, because these are really, really good units, right? So let me talk about them. I mean, unless you're like extremely new or living under a rock, like everybody is pretty familiar with Gladio. He's pretty much one of the most busted tanks in the game. I actually like him more than Warrior of Light. Now with Echo, sure, Warrior of Light is kind of like the king right now, but over the years, I've always chosen Gladio over Warrior of Light, mainly because he's literally unkillable. He's going to cover your allies, so any single target literally just gets wiped, like he can't die, right? And then he's got really good counter damage, and so he works so well in these counter FR comps where he can help build the gauge. His counter damage will add up and start to do a lot, right? Like Gladio is just fantastic. And even if the enemies are aggressive with AoE damage, Gladio blocking out 1/3 of that is usually enough to protect the party anyways, and then you can kind of get healed back up. So Gladio just hands down is one of the best tanks in the game. Amazing character. Do not regret, like if you get him, just build him. He has so much value, especially like with lockout content and all that. He's a character that you can plug into any party and he will tank and save you, right? Edge, same thing. Edge is one of the best evade counter tanks. So like on this banner, you're getting 2 of the best counter tanks in the game, in my opinion. Edge is extra fantastic because he gives, it's not just that like he evade counters, but he gives the entire party evasion. It takes a little bit to get his EX going, but once you do, you can pretty much upkeep his evasion for party-wide for the whole fight, and your party's basically unkillable. Now, I don't know that I would say you definitely don't want to run Edge and Gladio in the same party, right? But individually as that 3rd slot, Edge and Gladio are both fantastic. If you're someone that back in the day you built up Rydia FR, Edge is almost a must get because her FR wants the party to dodge, and her LD alone, if you're doing a really aggressive fight, you cannot upkeep the dodge. You need someone like Edge to do that because her dodge is literally just a counter. Like you get 3 dodges per character, where if the fight's really aggressive, you can burn that out really quick. Edge just says, as long as my EX buff is up, you have party-wide evasion, which is insane. So Edge and Gladio are just ridiculous. Like they're up there like selfie level. Like these characters are super good. Just take my word for it if you're a newer player. These are characters that these are the characters that age really well, right? This is Edge and Gladio without like any upgrades or anything, and they're still fantastic. So you can see I've got both of mine blue armor. I like them. They're very good characters. And then we have Tifa. Tifa's going to be still one of the best DPSs in the game. She's going to continue to be that. She's now getting Echo, which is really good. She is single target focused, but she does so much damage. 2 target fights, she's just fine. You don't have to be single target to use Tifa. She's ridiculously good in 2 target fights. Now 3 target fights, yeah, could get iffy, but how often do we have 3 target fights, right? And that's why you build up another DPS. You want to probably have a primary AoE one and a primary single target one. So sure, Squall's dropping. He's going to be a really good AoE DPS you could build up if you want to have that. Vivi's a good AoE DPS if you want to build him up. But Tifa, I think, can just be your number 1 DPS if you want her to be that. So I would say if you're missing these 3 kits, I would almost say this is a must summon. Like this is just too good a value. Now, if you're a player like me, I've got all these characters done. Obvious skip. I don't need any of it, right? So if you only need Edge or only need Gladio, I mean, I'm going to say if you only need Gladio, you probably still want to get them if you can. Like just chuck some tickets. Maybe don't go too heavy. But for sure, if you're missing 2 out of these 3 characters, I would recommend pulling here. So anyways, guys, let me know if you're excited for these banners. Let me know if you're going to pull or not. Thanks for watching. We'll catch y'all on the next one.